Hello there, this is Sandhya and welcome to Dynamic Living. In terms of knowing sort of what, that feeling that I don't know what I don't know yet, as an entrepreneur, you'll always partly feel that. But there's also certain other things that you could keep on learning. Today we have the option of working full-time and still going to B-school over the weekends, doing short courses. But I will say that when you're in doubt, actually you should always go back to the basics. Even if I have a doubt on like science or philosophy or neuroscience, very often I will literally take a school or a college textbook and go back to the basics. And similarly for entrepreneurships, at the end of the day, things can look very complicated and very woke, but business is business, it's dhanda. So if you understand the basics of what a business should be, right? At some point, it's going to have to start making money. And if you use those very sound first principles, the more complex it gets in terms of having to explain it, and I'll reserve my judgment on the whole valuations game, but know that it always comes back to buy cheap, sell expensive. So if you have those basics in place, you rarely will feel that confusion in terms of, do I know enough or not? Because everything else is just like good housekeeping. You can learn skills of marketing, you can learn skills of operations, and by all means, the more well-rounded you are in each of these, the less stress it will actually cause you in terms of actually running the company. Very often I remember fellow entrepreneurs who suddenly got hit with like a huge tax bill, and they was like, oh my God, we hadn't been paying taxes for 2 years. These are kind of no-brainers. We need to do our housekeeping. But as far as where do I need to go from here, and is this the right path for me? Do I need to take a break? This is a bit of a complex. The business part of it is that depending on the line that you are in, each business has got like different cycles that you need to sort of struggle through and live through. Rule of thumb is you need to have like a 3-year cycle to see the ups and downs and all the black swan events that a business may come through. Of course, like COVID is once in 100 years, but other than that, typically in a 3-year cycle, you'll kind of see all of the things that you need to see, and you'll get a pretty good idea at the end of it. 1, if you're surviving, or 2, where the gaping holes in either your model or your business operations are. The philosophical part of the question is, when you feel this sort of grating on you, it's useful to actually just take a little bit of time. Not so easy for an entrepreneur, I know, but it could literally be as simple as taking a weekend off and just retreating in a sense from the outside world and just reconnecting with yourself, and ask yourself some very basic questions again. That why did I start this business? What was the gap I was hoping to fulfill? At the end of the day, we're not just entrepreneurs to make money. That is a very narrow goal, and it rarely brings us long-lasting happiness. Science tells us that the sort of feel good that comes from a hit of money or a hit of a bonus of some sort doesn't last more than 6 months. And you guys are sort of grinding and going through this grueling time because you have a bigger payoff at the end of it, and that comes from fulfilling a larger purpose, even if it means solving a pain point that somebody else has. So when in the day-to-day grind, it's easy to lose sense of that vision. Go back to why you did this in the first place. And then the second question we need to ask ourselves is a little bit more personal one, that now that I've got my hands wet or hands dirty, as we say, is this really me? I mean, am I the right person to be doing this job? And sometimes you'll find that you're not. For example, I remember when I started my business, which was in retail, there were so many people that wanted to start retail stores as well, restaurants. It's a sort of fanciful idea, but the actual running of it is a completely different story altogether. And perhaps you would never have known unless you actually tried it. So it's okay to course correct and say that, hey, listen, I might have had a nice idea. Yes, I am hitting a pain point, but I may not be the right person for it. And the third aspect to that could just be that, look, I'm tired. Maybe I'm doing too many things. Maybe I'm just not delegating enough. Maybe I need to bring in external resources. And even if that means giving away equity, just to keep your balance and to have you doing the things that are important to you to build this baby out. In a sense, it could be like saying like something's got to give. But eventually, once you have that little bit of introspection, and great time also to reach out to mentors in this space, other people that have done similar things, found out from their journey as well, which part of this is just something you need to ride out and which part is something that, you know, you really need to put a hard stop to.